Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Silk Quilt Kaleidoscope. Today's pics and videos will highlight the Museum of Civil War General James Longstreet, along with some history of his life and family members, including his final home and his final resting place. The museum, home of the Longstreet Society, is located at 827 Maple Street in Gainesville, Georgia, which is approximately 1.5 hours northeast of Atlanta. The rooms and walls are lined with many rare photos, documents, and mementos. It is housed in an original portion of the old Piedmont Hotel and Restaurant that General Longstreet opened in 1876. The original structure consisted of a 3-story building with 2 wings and a connecting lobby and ballroom, and had a total of 30 guest rooms. This hotel served as Longstreet's social and political gathering place, and played host to several well-known people, including author Joel Chandler Harris, General Joseph Johnston, General Daniel Sickles, and future President Woodrow Wilson. And speaking of Woodrow Wilson and his wife Helen, their second daughter Jessie was born here in the old hotel on August 28, 1887. That room still exists and is part of the museum that can be visited. In 1913, while her father was president, Jessie would get married in the White House. It is claimed that the hotel's restaurant was the first to serve battered fried chicken, which was served as Southern fried chicken. The hotel had many types of chicken dishes, and this great need for chicken eventually led to Northeast Georgia's massive poultry industry, which continues today. This industry expanded greatly by visionary Jesse Jewell after World War II, resulted in Gainesville, Georgia becoming recognized as the poultry capital of the world. As for the hotel, unfortunately, it ceased operations due to financial issues and became a boarding school in 1899 and later a boarding house until its eventual destruction in 1918, leaving at that time only the ground floor and the second floor of one wing. As for General Longstreet himself, he was born in South Carolina on January 8, 1821. He became a West Point graduate in 1842. Before the Civil War, he served in the Mexican War and out west. In 1861, he joined the Confederacy as a brigadier general. But by October of the following year, he made lieutenant general and became General Robert E. Lee's overall second in command. In May of 1864, he was shot in the neck by friendly fire, and the bullet also passed through his shoulder. It was not a fatal wound, but it did put him out of commission until later that year in October, and it resulted in his right arm being permanently paralyzed. After the war, he moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, and became involved in politics as a Republican who strongly supported reunification and Reconstruction. He became president of an insurance company and participated in cotton brokerage. More interestingly, he later commanded a more racially integrated police force for the city by hiring black officers. He moved to Gainesville in 1875 after a local newspaper invited him to come. He bought a 120-acre farm where he raised turkeys, fruit trees, and muscadines. There is a statue of Longstreet at 992 Longstreet Circle, noting this location. He continued in politics by serving as ambassador to Turkey, Gainesville's postmaster, U.S. Commissioner of Railroads, and U.S. Marshal for the Northern District of Georgia. In 1889, the home of Longstreet and his first wife, Maria, burned down. Maria passed away later that same year, believed to be caused by her distraughtness over the loss of her home. The general got remarried in 1897 to Helen Dortch, who was a leading lady in her own right. She was a newspaper woman who advocated for environmental preservation, civil rights, modern industrial education, and the right for women to attend the University of Georgia. And she too once held the position of postmaster. But she is best known for having been the state's first salaried female employee. She passed away in 1962 at the age of 99, known as the Fighting Lady. General Longstreet passed away on January 2, 1904, about 8 years after publishing his memoirs titled From Manassas to Appomattox in December of 1895. On the day of his death, he and Helen lived at 746 Green Street, which is still standing in a privately owned home. It was in this house that Helen had a basement chapel constructed and Gainesville's first Catholic church held services. The general had been suffering from eye cancer and asked to be taken to his daughter Maria's home that was located at 207 College Avenue. The location of the old home site now makes it part of a bank's parking lot. Upon arrival, Longstreet's health quickly worsened into pneumonia. A coughing spasm tore open his old neck wound, and he bled to death. He is buried in the nearby Alta Vista Cemetery, located at 1080 Jesse Jewell Parkway. His gravesite can be easily found at the cemetery's flagpole. And if you visit Gainesville, an appropriate dining spot will be the Longstreet Cafe with two locations. One is at 1043 Riverside Terrace, and the other is at 405 Pearl Nicks Parkway. The Longstreet Society and Museum is open Thursday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's no entrance fee, but they do take monetary donations. One of today's pics shows a membership donation form along with an email and website address. The Society has members from all over the world and is a non-profit organization. It offers presentations to groups and also helps to upkeep the General's gravesite. All funding comes from membership dues, donations, and a yearly fall seminar that is held on one of the battlefields related to Longstreet. Please consider becoming a member or making a donation to help volunteers keep history alive for future generations.